Hello everyone, Rimea here, and welcome to my playthrough of Small Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. This is a new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe port of the original Small Super Mario Bros. U 1 and 2 made by Mr. Bengtson, but the port was actually done by Dr. Tricky, and I also helped out on it. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started on the mod. So I've already played this mod many times. I also, like I said, helped out on development, so I even played it during development. And I've also actually already done a playthrough of the original versions of this mod on my channel. So I think this playthrough is really going to be just kind of like some snippets of me talking about the different levels and stuff, but it's not going to be as full of playthroughs you might expect from me usually. Though either way, let's get started with 1-1. I guess this is also like the first time there's any like New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe playthrough stuff on my channel, because of course, I mean, this is basically the first New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe mod as far as I'm aware. There are some like, you know, like model character or texture mods or whatever of New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, but I don't know of any full like mods with like a bunch of custom levels and stuff like this. And even this one, of course, it's just a port, so I guess there still isn't an original New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe mod. But that would be a bit pointless, because you can quite easily port between New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe and the original NSMBU, so yeah, that seems a bit useless. Okay, so I guess I might as well talk about what we actually like did to this mod, apart from just porting it from Deluxe, from U to Deluxe, which is that, for example, here, you see how this question mark block here is like, you know, has like the blue shading and stuff that you'd expect of an underground section. That wasn't originally the case in Small Super Mario Bros. U or Small Super Mario Bros. U 2. I don't think the question and bird blocks ever had like the proper shading for the different sections. And so that's one thing that we did. Or, I mean, we did. I suggested we do it, and then Tricky actually did it, because Dr. Tricky, did basically all of the porting process for this mod. I just kind of, like, advised on some stuff, because I was busy actually, you know, making the franchise direct and stuff. Apart from that, the gist of this mod is very simple. It's just a bunch of levels that are very small, both, actually, I don't think the level length is all that small necessarily. It's more about the, you know, the size of the screen and the kind of contraptions and stuff. And also, I would say, especially for this first Small Super Mario Bros. U, which is like World 1, the levels themselves are very simple as well. I think the levels get a little bit more complex towards the second world, though. I need a mushroom. That's not that kind of mushroom, damn it. I need a mushroom to get that, to destroy that big block for the third star coin. Okay, well, I think I screwed that up. Well, okay, I guess that means no, we're not getting all the star coins in this mod, sadly. But that's okay, because you don't really even need them for anything, of course. Another thing about this mod is that every level is basically a different world theme. Especially in this first world here, I feel like every level basically is like a different main world theme. Like, this is the desert level, and then the previous one was the overworld level and stuff. And yeah, that does mean that like it doesn't really line up with the overworld map all that well, but I don't think that's too big of a deal. That's an interesting star. Oh, right, yeah, okay. Oh, I can't, no, When I first played this mod, I never quite understood that you were supposed to go under the pokies in sections like this here. That's not, like, it's not super intuitive to me, even though that's what the level requires. Oh, this bonus room is a bit of a hassle. I remember, yeah, like, I mean, what am I even supposed to do? I guess I can go up here, or just barely? Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's one thing, we contemplated, like, changing some actual design stuff in the mod, but for the most part, we didn't touch any of that, really. It's mostly just, like, some very minor visual, tweaks and stuff that we did, in order to make the mod feel a little bit more cohesive with the original, NCPU, I guess, in terms of, like, visual stuff. But yeah, for the most part, the mod has been basically, remained unchanged. Which is fine, and it's also because, like, the mod wasn't really made with any input from Mr. Bengtson. He knew we were making it, but it's not like he was, like, actively involved in the development process, so we didn't really feel like we had the, like, liberty to just change stuff however we wanted, you know. So, yeah. I should mention, I suppose, the reason this mod even, like, came to be in the first place, like, the reason Dr. Tricky and I decided to port Small Super Mario Bros. U to New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe was kind of because, for a while, we've wanted some kind of New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe representation in the, modding directs. And we realized like no one was actually working on any New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe mods, so we just decided to make one ourselves, I suppose. And we realized that Small Super Mario Bros. U is a very simple thing to port. It doesn't require any like custom background ports or whatever. So that's what we did. So yeah, this was made like in the week before the most recent franchise direct, funnily enough. Some of the changes in the mod were actually even inspired by my playthrough of the original Small Super Mario Bros. U, which we watched kind of as a joke during development. Can I get up there still? Oh no, okay. I guess I've lost the first star code for this level as well then, damn it. But what I was going to say is that, for example, something we did in this level is fill up these little holes here with invisible blocks, just so you can't get stuck in them randomly, because I did that in my playthrough, and we realized that would be a bit lame. I guess it's really hard for me to actually get up here without this snake block. Oh, there we go, okay. It's quite funny that that's kind of mandatory in a way, but whatever. If you get crushed between these pipes, it actually doesn't do anything, it just like pushes you upwards. Which I guess is nice, it's very forgiving. This star coin over here, I'm like, this is the one that I think we contemplated changing this one as well. But once again, didn't want to actually change design decisions, but yeah, it's just like a random layer 0 thing. Not the best star coin in the world, to be honest. This level is probably my least favorite in the mod. It feels like it's the one that's the most just like kind of spamming mechanics from the respective world that it's inspired by, you know? Like, it just kind of has every beach mechanic in it without really doing anything all that creative with them, I feel like. I don't know. And that's definitely something that happens more in this first world in, you know, what was originally the original Small Super Mario Bros. U, which is that, like, the levels are kind of just, like I said, there's kind of just compilations of mechanics you'd expect to see in this world. Whereas I feel like the second Small Super Mario Bros. U, which is World 2 of this mod, has a lot more to it when it comes to like actual creative ideas and combinations of mechanics and stuff. I do like this. This is funny. Originally there were actually some coins down here, which kind of looked like it would indicate some kind of like secret, like maybe there's layer 0 down here or something. But now instead, if you go over here, there's some coins that spawn over here to kind of indicate that no, there's nothing else down there, it's just that. Like, that's the reward you get for going down there for some stupid reason. And yeah, I guess that's one of the few minor design decisions that we did change, because it just felt so weird for there to be coins down there, when it was so like precarious to go down there, but there was no real reward. Well, at least this level has a fire bro in a snow level, which I guess is... No, wait, even the original SMU did that. And down here is one of the few big changes in the mod, which is that this zone now actually uses the proper ice tile set as opposed to just the generic underground tile set which you used before. Which didn't really make a lot of sense, but I guess Mr. Bennington just wanted to avoid using the ice tile set because it's very annoying to use. Uh-oh. You can actually go back here and reactivate the speed switch. So I guess we can do that. There we go. Oh, I almost killed myself. Oh, no! Okay. Go back a third time. This ice bro, man. You know, I suppose this level doesn't really stick to one of the main world themes, because I wouldn't say the Painted Swampland aesthetic is like the main world theme of World 5. So I guess it's a little bit unique at least. It's funny how putting Koopas in the level with the boo circles means you can just kill them like that. It's kind of an overpowered mechanic. Down here is one of the most sneaky pipes I've ever seen, which is this purple pipe down in the purple poison water, which like is barely possible to see. It's really quite funny. That's not how you get a star coin. I believe the only changes this level receives is that the, once again, the brick in question blocks now have the proper lava lighting, and there were also a couple of very minor tiling errors with some of those big brown background bricks here. Yeah, that's it really. This is really quite like a cool level, I think. This is definitely more of an exception to what I've talked about with these Small Super Mario Bros. 1 levels, where they're mostly just generic theming, because I feel like this whole like fire bars and water bubble in a Peach's Castle aesthetic level is really quite unique, and it's definitely one of the better levels in this first world, I think. I think seeing this water bubble rise like this here was the first time I realized water bubbles could actually be path controlled. Got an amazing custom boss room in here. I suppose those brown pads might be a bit of a threat, I'm not really sure. I don't think I've ever taken damage from them personally. Wait, okay, that wasn't intentional. Okay, that's hilarious. SSMB U2. So yeah, like I've been talking about throughout this playthrough, the second world of this mod is actually Small Super Mario U 2. Which was originally released like a year after the original Small Super Mario U, and was always meant to be like an expansion where it was World 2, so that's nothing new to this Deluxe port in particular. Another thing we consider changing for this level here is that it uses this like sky background here, even though the level itself is more like overworld, and also there's like, even though it has this sky background, there's no like cloud areas anywhere or anything like that, which kind of feels like, I don't know, just feels a little empty, I suppose. But no, we decided to just keep it the way it was, because I guess it does kind of contribute to that sort of unique Small Super Mario U feeling. We also considered changing something about this vine here, because there's actually a vine in this block right here, and we actually kind of did, which is, I think we added this arrow down below here, that like little coin arrow. I'm not actually sure. We definitely talked about doing all sorts of crazy changes, but maybe we didn't end up changing anything. I don't really remember, to be honest. Another thing that was added in the Deluxe port was actually making this Nabbit chase here function properly. So that's the thing I suppose that we should check out. Oh god. There we go. I suppose this level is where the Small Super Mario U name becomes quite literal, because this level makes quite a lot of use of Mini Mario, or I guess Mini Blue Toad in this case. I'm pretty sure seeing these rolling urchins here was actually the first time I'd ever really seen that mechanic being used. I guess it's also in Luigi U at one point, but I don't really remember that. So that really inspired me to start using that mechanic in like a lot of levels, I guess. Getting into this pipe can be quite tricky. There we go. This bonus room is quite funny because of just how zoomed in it is. It kind of just looks like this mini blue toad here. It's just a normal, like, small blue toad. But it's actually also kind of funny because you can see, like, the resolution of everything very clearly. Or, like, you can see how polygonal the star coin model is. Or, yeah, just look at the tile sets here. You can, like, just count the pixels, basically. But I guess it still barely works the way it's implemented here. I think we did add cloud areas to this level, by the way, so if you see that, like, that little bit of fog down at the bottom of the screen, we added that, because I guess we did feel like it fit with this level's aesthetic more than with the first level in this world. I guess another thing that's kind of an accidental addition for this Deluxe port is the fact that we have that Deluxe version of the aesthetic theme, so if you're not aware, like, that instrument there sounds a little bit different in New Super Mario Deluxe. I always feel like the level is about to end at this point, but then no, there's the midway. I guess there's still a lot more to go. But yeah, I don't know, I guess what I said earlier about the levels maybe being a bit shorter in this mod just isn't true at all, because this level is actually, like, really long. I guess you could wait for as long as you want to with that power block there, couldn't you? So I suppose you could, like, go further into this section, then throw the power block, and then it wouldn't even really be any kind of challenge. I've always really liked this level conceptually more than I've actually liked it in terms of the actual gameplay, because I'm not a huge fan of the whole climbing rock mechanic, and I don't feel like this level does anything particularly, like, noteworthy with it to where that, like, changes my opinion on it. But I do like this level's kind of, like, different style, because once again it feels very different from just a generic approach to, like, just some generic, you know, slap together themes from some world. This is more unique. Kind of like, you know, most of the levels in this world of the mod. I just feel like, yeah, this whole climbing rope mechanic, it's very slow, and the burners don't really add too much to it. I mean, it's a very simple combination of mechanics. And I also feel like the whole, like, background rock thing here, especially with the fact that this is a tower level, just feels a little bit odd. And speaking of those background rocks, one of the few changes we made to this level in this version of the mod is that we did fix, like, 1 or 2 minor tiling errors with those background rocks, but honestly, there wasn't anything crazy considering, like, just how crazy this background rock tiling is, that there were actually, like, very few errors in it. I've always liked this here, where you think that you can jump from the like the climbing rocks all the way to the left there, but no, you can actually go over to the right here and then jump all the way to the left, and that's the easiest way of getting over there. Of course, this bonus room is very funny. It does, like, kind of glitch out at the start like that, but overall, I mean, it's very satisfying to look at. So the problem with Boom Boom is that you can always just do this, you know? Like, Like, no matter what kind of burners you add to this section. This is a level I remember really liking from the start. I think there are some other donut box secrets down here as well. No, okay, right, I see. Okay. There's some, like, random things where you can fall down with the donut box, and I think that's for a Starcoin as well. But yeah, just like this level uses some nice mechanics together, and I like the way the donut blocks are used. Like, oh yeah, right here. There we go. And this is definitely one of the more memorable levels in the mod for me. And I also feel like this is kind of like, you know, this is a very generic, just snow level, but it doesn't have to be like some kind of crazy combination of mechanics or whatever for it to just be a nice and memorable level. And I feel like this does a much better job of that than the levels in the first Small Super Mario Bros. This is a funny bonus room. Originally there was also like a secret exit you could get in this bonus room, and that was then blocked off in Small Super Mario Bros. But like it was still there in a version that was shown off of the level previously. And that's actually something that was removed for these versions, because you could still have like, you could still like kind of notice that there was like layer 0 there for no reason. So we got rid of that. You can actually ride this fuzzy up here, like this, and then you get to this bonus room up here, which neither Dr. Tricky nor I actually knew about before we started halting this level, but yeah, that's something, I guess. I remember this dark one was one that really baffled me during my original playthrough. It's still, it's kind of funny. So you saw that star coin up there, like that, and then there's actually this kind of deceptive coin arc down here, which actually, yeah, indicates you can just jump down here to get the star coin. Which is, I mean, it's not how I would design something myself, but I can see how it makes sense, and it's kind of a funny, I guess, creative idea. It's just, yeah, it's really interesting. Considering how much I've been, like, praising these World 2 levels, I do feel like it's a little bit weird that basically the final normal level in the mod, apart from the castle, is this kind of generic desert level. I mean, it does use, like, these spike tops and stuff, but I don't know, it just feels like a much simpler level than most of the other levels in this world. As I also learned while working on Cloudy 2, it's like super difficult to make these spike tops anything interesting because they're just super slow. This here is cool though. I do think what the level does with these location activated sand pillars here towards the end is pretty cool. Like not only this entrance here for example, but also this secret here where it's like, oh wow, the sand geyser spawns when you go over into this random little like sand pond here. It's pretty neat. But once again, I do feel like the spike toss is such a limited mechanic that we can't just have weird bonus rooms like this to make up for it. There's actually this pretty funny secret in this castle where you can go back into these doors for a little secret room. That's just a really kind of funny, quirky little setup. Originally, this zone here just continued all the way to the right here, so there wasn't a wall here. So we added that because it felt like, I don't know, there would have been some kind of secret to the right, but there just wasn't. This final section here is pretty fun, but it's also really difficult to actually get the timing right so you don't just, like, you know, damage Booth in the end. But there we go. This zone here actually has something very unique when it comes to this mod, which is that it actually has a slightly custom background. Because I realized the original version of this background has like a very yellow sky in the background, because of course it would be for the desert world. But this level has a very like distinct purple sky. So we changed the color there and yeah, made it fit much better, I think. Alright, so now that we're finished with the main mod, here we have this little sign that just gives some credit. So it says, mod by Mr. Bengtson, ported by Dr. Tricky, with help from Rimea, which is accurate. And then we can actually go to either World 4 or World 3 to actually check out an additional sort of level. You'll see what I mean. Credits zone. So you might be wondering what the point of this is if we already had that sign there. And actually originally the mod didn't have that sign there, it wasn't edited like that. So this is originally the only credits that are really there, and it says, thank you for playing, by Mr. B plus Dr. T. So of course by Mr. Bengtson plus Dr. Tricky. And actually there's something, I didn't even know about this when I originally did my playthrough, but people discovered it pretty quickly, which is that if you, like this, collect all of the coins in this zone, just one second, there's actually already an arrow here that we added to kind of indicate this a little bit. There we go. We actually have this, I don't know if it's a golden pipe or a rainbow pipe, I've heard different people call it different things, but this pipe that pops up, which leads to a Midway and a Bowser like fight door, because in fact the mod does have a fully, like, you know, true secret final Bowser fight at the end. right here. We actually messed around with trying to make the background in this section look more like just normal, like without all of the crazy lava fog stuff. But we couldn't really get that to look right, so we just kept it vanilla. Because of course, like if we had managed to change it, it would have matched the credits zone more with like the mushroom hills in the background and stuff. So yeah, we can just fully just fight final Bowser here, which I guess I guess I have to do this now. God. There we go.
Thank you.
It's honestly quite funny that this whole cutscene even works in just any random level. Also, hello Nabbit. But yeah, it does work, but luckily we don't actually have to sit through the entire credits, so I think now the level is just done, I hope. Yeah, there we go. So you may be wondering, what is 4-2 then? Well, it's called Final Zone. This is actually something we added for this deluxe port of the mod in particular, which is that we actually made this Mario version of the Luigi thank you sign, which appears at the end of 9-9 in Luigi U. So, oh, this doesn't really work because I'm small, and also I'm Blue Toad. But yeah, I made this little edit of this sign here to have the Mario artwork instead of the Luigi artwork that's usually there. And if you walk over to the right, you actually get this, this exit, so you can just leave the level. And also, it's a secret exit because that means you don't unlock the next level after this. So yeah, that's the end of the mod, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe and all of that stuff. And thank you very much for watching. But yeah, see you later, and bye bye.